Bill Gates' biggest mistake, the Jeffrey Epstein connection. When the world's second richest man meets a convicted sex offender, the fallout is bound to be explosive. Bill Gates, tech titan and philanthropist extraordinaire, shaking hands with Jeffrey Epstein, a man whose name has become synonymous with scandal and depravity. Sounds like the setup for a bad joke, right? Well, buckle up, folks, because this is no laughing matter. Bill Gates, the Microsoft maestro, the philanthropic powerhouse, the guy who probably has more zeros in his bank account than you've had hot dinners. Jeffrey Epstein, the disgraced financier, convicted sex offender, and the man who could make a Rolodex blush with his high-profile connections. What could possibly go wrong when these two worlds collide? Everything. We're talking secret meetings, controversial connections, and consequences that would make even the most seasoned PR team break out in a cold sweat. So grab your popcorn and settle in. We're about to dive into a tale of power, poor judgment, and a partnership that would ultimately become Bill Gates' biggest mistake. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. The players. Let's take a quick look at our cast of characters. First up, we've got Bill Gates. You know, the guy who made computers cool, or at least made them work without crashing every 5 minutes. Microsoft co-founder, tech wizard, and the man who made glasses look hip again. Net worth. Let's just say he could buy a small country and still have change for lunch. Before the Epstein debacle, Bill was the poster boy for nerdy do-gooders everywhere. Saving the world one vaccine at a time, right? But hold on to your hats because our next player is a doozy. Enter Jeffrey Epstein, financier, socialite, and, oh yeah, convicted sex offender. This guy's black book was thicker than a phone directory. If you were rich, powerful, or both, chances are Epstein had your number. In 2008, he got a slap on the wrist for soliciting a minor. But that was just the tip of the iceberg, folks. Last but not least, we've got Melinda French Gates, Bill's ex-wife and partner in world-saving shenanigans. She wasn't just arm candy at Galis, mind you. Melinda was knee-deep in the Gates Foundation, fighting the good fight. But when it came to Epstein, she smelled something fishy from the get-go. Turns out, her nose for trouble was spot on. So there you have it. A tech titan, a disgraced financier, and a philanthropist with a sixth sense. What could possibly go wrong? The initial connection. It's 2011, and Epstein's already got a conviction for soliciting prostitution from a minor. Not exactly the kind of guy you'd expect a billionaire philanthropist to hang out with, right? But Gates, ever the optimist, apparently thought, hey, this guy knows rich people. Maybe he can help me save the world. Spoiler alert, this was not his brightest idea. So, Gates and Epstein start their little dance. At least 3 times, Gates swings by Epstein's Manhattan mansion. You know, just your average billionaire playdate. But wait, there's more. Gates didn't go alone. Oh no, he brought his team along for the ride. Safety in numbers, I guess. Or maybe they just wanted to see Epstein's infamous massage room. Now let's talk frequency. These weren't just casual bump-ins at the country club. We're talking multiple meetings over several years. Gates was practically a regular at Casa Epstein. But why, Bill? Why? Well, according to Gates, it was all about the Benjamins. For charity, of course. He thought Epstein could help him raise big bucks for global health initiatives. Because nothing says fighting disease like hanging out with a convicted sex offender, right? Oh, Bill, you sweet, naive billionaire genius. What were you thinking? Now, here's where it gets really juicy. There was talk of a $2 billion charitable fund. Epstein, ever the opportunist, tried to get JP Morgan Chase involved. Because when you're planning world-saving initiatives, why not invite a Wall Street giant to the party? Oh, and let's not forget the private jet ride. In 2013, Gates hopped on Epstein's plane to Palm Beach. Just your average billionaire carpooling, nothing to see here. Melinda Gates, Bill's then wife, met Epstein in 2013 and immediately got the heebie-jeebies. Smart lady. She was not happy about Bill's continued bromance with Jeffrey, and she wasn't alone. Gates Foundation employees were getting squirmy too. I mean, can you blame them? Their boss was palling around with a guy who had sex offender on his resume. But did Bill listen? Nope. He kept right on meeting with Epstein, despite the warnings, despite the criminal history, despite everything. The plight. In 2019, the proverbial you-know-what hit the fan. The New York Times drops a bombshell, revealing Gates's cozy relationship with Epstein. Suddenly, Bill's squeaky-clean image starts looking about as pristine as a mechanic's rag. Gates' reputation? It took a nosedive faster than a skydiver with a faulty parachute. The public was shocked. But wait, it gets better. Or worse, depending on your perspective. Turns out, Melinda Gates was not a fan of Bill's new bestie. In fact, it was a major factor in their divorce. Meanwhile, Microsoft's board decided to play detective. They launched an investigation into Gates's behavior in 2019, because nothing says, "We trust our co-founder," like hiring a private law firm to snoop around. Gates, sensing the heat, decides to pull a Houdini. He resigns from Microsoft's board in 2020. The media, smelling blood in the water, goes into a feeding frenzy. Every news outlet from here to Timbuktu is running stories about Gates and Epstein. Extortion attempt. Let's talk about Mila Antonova, a Russian bridge player. Apparently, Gates asked Epstein to foot the bill for her online course. Epstein said no, then allegedly tried to blackmail Gates over an affair. Gates' response to the alleged extortion? Crickets. Maybe he was too busy trying to find the Control-Alt-Delete for this whole mess. So how did Gates explain all this? Well, he tried. He really did. He admitted to mistakes and bad judgment. Understatement of the century, Bill. He claimed the meetings were all about philanthropy, because nothing says charity like hanging out with a convicted sex offender, right? Gates acknowledged that continuing the relationship was a mistake. He tried to distance himself from Epstein faster than a teenager distancing themselves from their parents at the mall. But the damage was done. The Gates-Epstein saga is a cautionary tale for the ages. It's a reminder that even the world's richest, most powerful people can make monumentally stupid decisions. It shows us the importance of choosing your friends wisely, and maybe doing a quick Google search before accepting dinner invitations. Gates' legacy? It's taken a hit. His future philanthropic efforts? They might need some serious PR rehab. The lesson here? Power and influence don't make you immune to bad decisions. In fact, they might just amplify them.